Hi, I'm Michael Nadlin from Market Lead, and today's video is a chat with Cory Lindholm. So Cory and I were on a chat the other day, and we're actually discussing that a lot of people actually hit us up about how to start on Google Ads and how to get good at it. So we actually thought we'd just record a little segment at the end of our last chat about this. So it's super simple, it's super short. If you're starting off your journey, just follow these steps. Like, this is what's worked for me, this is what's worked for him. It's what we recommend to anyone. So this is also an asset. So when people do ask us, we can send it to them as well. So if you're starting your journey, please watch this, enjoy, implement it, and you'll get good really fast.
As I always say, excellent. We are back, and I've got Cory here again, the latest and greatest Google Ads guru that I follow with everything. But something that I wanted to chat about was just something we actually started talking about before we even had our first chat today. Was just people reach out to us a lot and ask us about Google Ads, how to get into it, how to get good at it, and just like, how to get a job at it, how to get experience, blah, 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 like all those things around just like, this isn't for like businesses, this is more for the individual. And I just thought, why don't we actually just like record a little video? Because there's a lot of people who ask us daily. Like, I'm getting about 5 to 10 messages a day. I'm sure Cory is probably getting 50 to 100, 10x what I'm getting. But it's just like, it's one of those things where, people want to know what we're talking about or how we go about things. And that's why we're recording these videos. But we might as well just like have a chat about this, because Cory was mentioning how he recommends it to people. I'm like, oh, that's actually really good. But then I have my own little way, which is more simplistic, but I'm more of a simplistic person. But I thought, let's just have that chat, mate. Just so Cory, everyone should know him. If you haven't seen his stuff, follow him on LinkedIn, watch my other videos. Like, I'm not going to give an awesome introduction because I'll speak for 3 hours about it. So I'll just go straight into it. Cory, like, what are when people reach out to you and ask about like starting their Google Ads journey or wherever they're at, like, what do you recommend?
Yeah. So first off, I am like always so psyched to have those conversations because I've been there. And when the first time you open up, and this is business owners too, like you open up Google Ads, you're just like, oh my goodness, there's so much here. Like there's so many buttons to press. And especially if it's doing like manual bidding, or even if it's doing automated, you don't know the difference between one against another. And what do you use for this and that? Like it can seem really intimidating and overwhelming. So it's usually two major questions that I get is like, one, I'm just getting started. Like I did the Google certification, I took Isaac's course on Udemy. Like, all right, where do I go from here? It's a really common one. Yeah. And the other one is I'm getting started. How do I get better? So it's two different paths. But I think, like you said, for today, we could focus on the person who's just getting started in their career. They usually reach this problem of like, I think I know most of the 101s, if you will, like the foundational knowledge, but I need to get my hands dirty. Should I take some more courses? Is there any books you can recommend? And you got to be cautious about getting stuck in the learning phase, right? Like, you're only going to learn so much from books, courses, PPC, Reddit, whatever it is, wherever you're getting your information. You eventually got to get your hands dirty and get out there and build muscle memory with this stuff. And you've got to fail fast. It's the only way to get true experience. And then it becomes, okay, well, how do I get a job, right? And that's a really good question. So generally, I say, especially in today's economic climate, reach out to recruiters. It's already their job to find you. And a lot of agencies, from my experience, are looking for entry-level people. They want people with various backgrounds. Maybe it's not just marketing. Sometimes there's an advantage to hiring people that don't have those direct backgrounds. Maybe you've done accounting in the past, whatever it is. Reach out to recruiters. They're already like getting paid to find you. So just beat them to it and reach out to them on LinkedIn is probably a great idea. Optimize your Upwork, optimize your LinkedIn. You can put a little bit of money. It's like $100 maybe. Find someone on Upwork that'll optimize your Upwork and your LinkedIn for you. There's people out there. They'll optimize it for keywords, so you show up in searches, etc. So get all that in line. And then start posting organically as you take something like Ed Leak's Guide to Your Ads course, which I highly recommend for people new and that have been doing this a long time. There's tons of golden nuggets. It's an exceptionally high quality course. It's kind of like more of a membership where you can access stuff. But take that, and then as you're learning, just start writing about it. Write about your findings. You're going to find a lot of people that are also in that, like business owners that are trying to do it themselves, that didn't know the stuff that you're learning, and you're going to look like a rock star. And you can be honest with them. You might not know everything, but you know a lot more probably than they do. And, you know, if you want, keep your fees down. It's totally up to you. It's so dependent on things. I wouldn't overcharge because the expectations are going to be crazy high that you're it's a rock solid expert at this. So maybe don't do that. But again, I'll leave it up to you how you want to do things. But I'd say those. So Upwork, LinkedIn, reach out to recruiters, optimize all those networks, start posting organically, just write stuff that you're learning. Answer questions for people on PPC Reddit. You might be wrong. It's totally fine. Lots of us are wrong all the time. It's totally cool. You know, just again, you will learn from other people, even if it's like Reddit and it's really rough and they're like, yeah, you don't know what you're talking about. That's not true. Just take it in stride. Like, it's all good, man. We've all been there. So those are my high level recommendations for it.
Nice, man. Yeah, that's quite an interesting and broad range of going about it. But I suppose because you've been a consultant for such a long time, you've had more of the, as you've mentioned, like a different path to a lot of people. Like mine was, I've worked at agencies for like the last 8 years, or worked agencies 8 years. So my one's like super, before it's like, whenever people ask me, I go, just go to YouTube and just write in Google Ads for beginners and just watch those videos and take notes, because over those videos, they'll all go over the same things that beginners need to know. And then I always say, just build your own account. Just build it for you. You don't even need to run it, but just build it just so you know how the interface works. And then the next thing is just get a job at an agency. Like, you could either try to be getting 1 or 2 clients and really struggle, or you could just get dropped in the deep end and have like 20 to 30 clients, and you're just like getting that. And like, if you're trying to freelance, you're only going to get so much more experience compared to if you're straight into an agency where you're in a team that will have people around you, you're in an environment. And I think it's probably the best way, because you supercharge your learning, you're also getting paid at the same time, and it's just much easier. So yeah, it's a bit of a struggle, because people go like to me like, oh, how do you get clients if you're just starting off? It's like, you don't want that. Like, you want the experience and the knowledge, because when that happens, then it turns into what you and I have, where we don't need to go outbound for clients. People just come to us. Like, too many people come to us. And that's like, but that only comes because we've done this for so long, and we've known a lot of people that, you know, referrals and just word of mouth and all that other stuff. But like, mine's simple. Just once again, like, you don't need to be buying courses either. But the issue is a lot of like learning and overlearning in this area is the problem. So it's best just to like watch 5 YouTube videos, just take notes, build an account, try to get a job, go on LinkedIn. There's so many PPC jobs on there.
Yep.
And then just get a job, work there for 3 to 6 months. See if you even like it. Like, a lot of people don't even know if they like it.
True.
And then once you're there, like, you can decide where the journey goes, if you want to stay agency or do it yourself. But at least you've learnt, like, you've accelerated your learning. But you can't bypass the work. Like, the work is what makes us great. Like, when you look at you or myself or Solutions 8 dudes, like, we've worked on thousands of clients collectively, but hundreds would be each. Like, I know, and this is not just an inflated marketing number, I've worked on over 600 businesses. Like, that's a lot of businesses on just Google Ads. $52 million in ad spend. I think it's actually higher now, but it's like, you can't, everything I could put into a video, if someone could watch it 100 times, each video I do would never get the knowledge that I have from just doing it. So there's no bypassing the work. So the question is, how do people kind of get into it or get good? It's like by doing it. And then how do you kind of do it is just by like doing the base knowledge. So when you're going for a job or something, someone knows that you're at least got some ambition. So they're giving you an opportunity. So it's like, it's a 2-step process. Get your basic knowledge in. And then the next step is get a job and get the experience. And that's just 100%. My perception.
100%. And I do want to speak to the lifestyle guys out there, like optimizing for lifestyle. Look, I love 4-hour work week, and I've been a digital nomad for like longer than it's been a cool thing to do. Before COVID, like before most people had the awesome opportunity to be able to work from home and live remotely and like work remotely and stuff like that, or not live remotely, work remotely. And I just got to say this, like, don't prioritize lifestyle first. Good businessman, focus on providing exceptional value and learning this. And then again, like we've talked about, really get your hands dirty and learn it in a way that isn't just books and courses, but focus on providing tons of value to every single person that you run in with, whether that's in their networking, when you're doing networking, you're going to conferences if you can afford that, etc. but also just most of your clients. Even if you're working for an agency, they're not your own freelancing clients. Focus on value. Do not focus on, oh, look, I get to be in Bali and work like 1 hour a week. Like, you're prioritizing the wrong thing, and people are not going to want to stick with you. You're going to have a worse retention rate than a lot of agencies do, which is not saying a lot. So that's just something I have to throw out there, because a lot of people come to me and they're like, hey man, like, that's so cool, you're going to like Switzerland and Sweden and Austria and all these places. And it's like, but first I like locked myself in a room for like a year and learned everything I could possibly do learn about this at like the most graded level. I hired and paid consultants to learn how to hit the ground running very quickly. And then it wasn't until years later that I really started being able, I felt, to take advantage of the lifestyle. So I wouldn't prioritize that first. Focus on being a good business person and providing tons of value, and then go from there and optimizing your life around other things.
Mate, that is perfect. Well, let's wind up there. We wanted to keep this a quick little video for people. So, Cory, once again, mate, thank you for the legendary advice.
My pleasure.
Follow Cory on LinkedIn. The link will be below. But yeah, everything you put out and say is gold, mate. Like, I learned from it. So it's not just everyone else you're sharing this with. Like, I've learned just even what you were just saying there. I'm like, wow, some nuggets of gold that I'm going to implement. So I appreciate that, mate. Thanks for that.
Of course. Take care.